The process of counting inventory in Sage using Basis is as follows. First, from the Basis inventory module, we make sure that the inventory counting doesn't have any old data. So this is data from a previous inventory. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I select the warehouse location and then clean up all table. This is something we do first and foremost, just to make sure that nothing is here. The second thing we do is we actually go to Sage and we do a physical inventory, and we generate the physical inventory worksheet from location that we want to count. And then we hit generate with the default quantity on hand set to true. So what that will do is that'll export all our inventory to Sage first of all. So this is just a Sage function. Once we did that, then we need to give that information to Basis. So to give that information to Basis, we go back to Basis inventory. We go to data transfer. Again, select the warehouse. The first part here, update inventory table, that just updates the listing of items in the iPad. So it's always good to do that. That gets done automatically, but if we want to do it, it doesn't hurt anything. We just click on transfer. When it's done, we close it. Prompts us to send the data to the cloud. We say yes. So this was just to update the data on the iPad so that they can find all the item. As far as the worksheet is concerned, there is an option here, copy worksheet from Sage 300 to Basis. So we want to do that. So it asks us to make sure we've already created it. We say yes, and then yes, and then close. And then again, he wants us to send it to the cloud. So again, we say yes. I'm going to say no here just because it takes a while. But so that basically sets up the table for inventory counting. So now if I go to inventory counting here, I don't have anything, but I have everything prepared for it. Just to show you what it looks like on the cloud, if we wanted to manage it on the cloud at the same time, we don't have to, it's just an option. When you open the cloud, you go to Basis, Inventory, and Scanned Inventory. So just like we did on the desktop, we want to select all the items and say delete, which basically will clean up all the items. So now it will show up here. So now I'm going to go on the scanner and scan some items, and then we'll complete the inventory. So on my scanner, I go to inventory, inventory count. First step, I have some settings where I can force to clear location after scan and mandatory location. That's if I want every single location to be entered. So because it's mandatory location, it's now prompting me for location. So let's just put something here. And then we can scan the item. Sorry, I have to have the item first. And then we put in a quantity. And we continue doing that for every other item. So let's do another item. This item is lot number, so it's prompting me to enter a lot number. And location. And I enter my quantity, and so on and so forth. So whenever I'm ready to send to the cloud, I just click on the scan and send. So the first thing that will happen is if I look on the cloud, so before I bring it to the local, I can actually look on the cloud under Basis, Inventory, Scanned Inventory, and now I can see everything that I just scanned on the cloud. To get it into Basis on the local, I just click on Receive from Cloud. And then when I open it back up, then I'll be able to see each item. In this case, I scanned this item in two different locations. I had scanned it before without a location. And this item here, this is the location, the lot number, everything. So whatever I scan will then show up on here. And that's really all there is to it. We keep going and going and going. At any time, we can actually print this as a discrepancy report, or we can print the item that we haven't scanned for whatever location. We also can use the old program if we wanted to do more analysis, but that's not really necessary. Everything is here. So as you're going through and getting inventory, you keep hitting receive from cloud, and that'll import from the cloud, and you'll be able to see everything that actually gets counted. So if it's red, that means that the quantity counted is below. If it's blue, that means it's over. And if it's green, that means it's bang on. At any time, you can double click on the line and you can see information of what was counted, and you can actually change it. If this item, for example, is lot number, if I double click on it, I can see the lot number. And if I needed to, I can change it. If I forgot to put the location, I can add it here. And I just need to hit save if I make any change. So if we were doing a full count and we wanted to have all the items that we did not count as a zero count, we would just click on add not scanned item. If we wanted to add item manually, we can just click on add item and add them directly here, although that's not necessarily the easiest way. And then the final step would be that once we've actually finished all this, the final step is to do an import. So for that, we go to import physical inventory, and we're going to select our location. And here there's two options. There is import quantity or import adjustment. The difference between the two is import quantity is actually only works if we don't have lot or serial numbers. So it's actually going to give me an error message saying I need to import as an adjustment, because it's impossible to adjust a lot and serial number through the inventory worksheet. If we didn't have inventory that was lot numbered, importing the quantity would have basically populated the worksheet, and then we would have completed the process in Sage, doing the discrepancy analysis and printing the variance report and so on. But in this case, because we do have a lot numbered item, we're going to click on import adjustment. What that's going to do is that actually going to import those items as an adjustment. And then once the adjustment is posted, it's going to give us the adjustment number, and we'll go and review it. So there's our adjustment. It was created. Copying the adjustment number. So this is a regular Sage adjustment, so it would be in IC transactions. We're no longer in basis. I go to adjustment, I put in this adjustment number, and I can see the two items that I counted. So one was below, so what the adjustment type is both, so it increases or decreases both prices and quantity always. In the first case, I had 129 in Sage and I only counted 25, so I was short 79. I'm not sure what the numbers were, but I was short 79, so I see the total value of the adjustment. In the second case, I was actually over, so in this case, it's both increase. And if I look at the item here, I can see that the lot number was added. So any lot number could have been added as long as it's existed before in Sage. If it's never existed in Sage, then I cannot create it. And we'll have an error message that will give us that we'll have to go and do the adjustment manually by receiving it, because in this case, it wouldn't be an adjustment, it would be a receipt. We cannot do an adjustment for an item that's never existed. So once we've posted this adjustment and our inventory count is complete, we just have to do standard Sage process.